Hi everyone, thank you very much for stopping by and returning to the old world. It is that time again, and we have another pre-order coming crashing in on the horizon. This time there's plenty on offer for the followers of darkness, with a few bits and bobs also for you followers of the Lords of Bretonia. So let's not waste any more time and let's have a look at what's going to become available the forthcoming weekend. First up is the Warriors of Chaos, or to put it more correctly, the Slaves to Darkness from Age of Sigmar. Why are we interested in this? Well, there's clear crossover here, so there's models that can be used for your Warriors of Chaos forces. And this comes through the Dark Oath army set. So what do you get in the box? Well, you're getting 20 Dark Oath Marauders, 5 Fell Riders, a Chieftain on Warsteed, and a Wilder Fiend. These would perhaps be better known as 20 Marauder Infantry, 5 Marauder Cavalry, and a Marauder Cavalry on horseback. I'm not sure what the Fiend would be, probably some kind of spawn. But with a little bit of work, I guess, could be made into a Troll or Ogre or something like that, depending on what you might want to do with it. Keeping to the theme of armies for the Ravening Hordes, what else have we got? Well, the Tomb Kings get their Casket of Souls. I think this is probably going to be a fairly important figure for the Tomb Kings. I've not come across Tomb Kings yet, so I don't have tons of knowledge about how they operate, but historically, this has been a model which has been quite prevalent in their army lists. We're also seeing a Necrolith Colossus, which has been remastered in resin. It's the Orcs and Goblins, however, where I'm thinking we're seeing the majority of the models that are going to become available. First of all, we have a set containing 2 Metal Orc Shamans, one of which is going to be on foot, and one of them is going to be on a plastic boar. The boar being very much the old school style boar, so predating the current boar boy style models, so really old style of boar there, but they're still a pretty nice looking model overall, I think. For the rank and file, we're seeing some Orc Mobs. Now, interestingly, the Orc Mob box, it's going to be a plastic kit, and it says you can build 40 of them split into 2 units, one with 2 hand weapons and the other with war bows. This does initially make me wonder about what if you want to equip your orcs with different weapons options, so maybe spears, 2 hand weapons, maybe you're going down some other routes, or you just want a really big block of boys. So if that's the case, I'm not sure, given the description, that these box sets are actually going to be as useful as they first appear. If you're going to be forced to make some of them up, or well, half of them up as bowmen, if that's not what you want, then you're going to be struggling a little bit. And then you've got the 20 Black Orc box set, again plastics, variety of weapons, full unit command, pretty solid. I think that's going to make an appearance in a lot of Orc forces. So an item that I would really expect to sell out pretty quickly. But there again, don't they all? Next, we turn our attention to the Orc Boar Boys and Boar Chariots. So these are a return of the, what I'm going to call new style Orc Boar Boys. So they're not quite the same style of boar that we're seeing on the Shaman. They are more recent sculpts than that. And to be honest, I really like these as models. I really like them at the time. I kind of wish first time around I'd kept hold of the ones that I had, but hey, I didn't. They were sold off in one of my many property moves as I was bouncing around earlier in my life, and didn't have the capacity to keep shipping models around with me, particularly for a game that I wasn't actively playing, given that by then Warhammer had ceased to exist. Interestingly, the Boar Boys kit is coming with 10 boys, which I think is a really good number, and it's going to allow you to field 1 or 2 units potentially, depending on how you want to play this particular troop type. Then, of course, we've got the Boar Chariots coming as a pair rather than a single model. So you're getting 2 special options for the one box set. To be honest, I quite fancy the idea of a mounted War. It is something I'm potentially going to have my eye on going forward when things settle down a little bit. And again, those who have been following the channel will know that I was very much umming and ahhing between going with Orcs or Empire when I was launched into what am I going to be building when the game gets released. Plumped for Empire. Orcs were a very close second, so I may well do something with Orcs a little bit further down the track. One thing to note here is they haven't remastered at all the boars in the Chariot kit. So you have the really, really old style boars. This is an absolutely ancient kit. To be honest, I would have liked to have seen them make the boars consistent in style across their releases. It feels a little bit odd that they're not consistent. So you're going to have a very different aesthetic between the Chariots, the Boar Boys, and the characters that are on the old style boars. Yes, not all boars will look the same, that's just reality, but I do think it looks a bit strange for them to be such different style of models. So that would be my criticism there. I think that these are very old sculpts and could do with a little bit of remastering just to jazz them up a little bit. Okay, let's move on, and we're looking here at a Goblin Shaman. So could be a Lord, could be a hero. It's an okay figure. Not much to really say about that one, to be honest. For rank and file, we have the Goblin Mob. So this is a 40 multi-part plastic kit, splitting into 2 units of 20, each with a champion, banner bearer, musician. It says here on the Warhammer community article that each goblin has the option to have a thrusting spear and shield or a short bow. So on the face of it, they have more useful weapon options than the Orc box, although that could, of course, be an error with the description on the Warcom site. Who knows at this point? We'll have to see what happens when these things go live on the pre-order. There'll be a bit more information there, I guess, albeit fully appreciate, given how quickly everything's been selling out in previous pre-orders, you might need to get your skates on. Next up are the Night Goblins. So we've got a Night Goblin Mob available. Again, this is going to be a 40 miniature kit coming with spears and shields or short bows. I think this is going to be a really useful kit. If you're wanting redirectors and fanatics and all the fun stuff that Night Goblins bring to the table, they're going to be an essential part of your army. We're also seeing for Orcs and Goblins a Wolf Rider kit. In this kit, we're seeing 15 miniatures. Again, full command with either spear or short bow for the regular riders. Interestingly, this kit is designed to be deployed as a single squad. So this is going to be a really chunky unit. Maybe I'd have liked to have seen the option to split these out into a couple of units, but there again, I suppose if you're using your Wolf Riders as pure light cavalry, you're not going to be wanting banners and the like floating around all over the place, because quite frankly, you're giving up a lot more points if they get caught in combat. Last but by no means least, let's turn to the Forces of Order and the Bretonnians. So the much vaunted Lady Elise Duad is finally going to be available. This is a resin special character, a level 3 wizard. Character-wise, we're also going to see a Bretonnian Lord on Royal Pegasus. So this is the figure that came in the starter box. So if you wanted 2 of them in your force, or a Duke and a Baron in your force, this will help you supplement that particular kit. We then go on to see release of the Bretonnian Peasantry, so the Men-at-Arms and the Bretonnian Bowmen. Certainly the Menat Arms, I think, are going to continue to have a lot of value. They are really good for their points cost. And I think people who maybe didn't get the original box set, or even people that may want extra models for their Men-at-Arms, a couple of units of these completely jamming up the midfield, for example, or blocking out the flanks, are going to cause your opponents quite a significant amount of problems. So again, I think these are going to be quite popular, even though as models when they were first released, I think they were kind of looked over a little bit. Their stats being pretty weak, people underestimated them. But now we've been seeing them on the tabletop a few times. I don't think anyone's falling into the trap. These guys are an absolute proper nuisance. So there we are. There are all of the pre-orders that are going to be coming available soon through Games Workshop, adding extra reinforcements for existing troops and allowing us to port some more stuff over from Age of Sigmar should we wish to do so. All that remains for me to say is thank you very much for listening. I hope you've found this video of use and interesting. If you have, do consider subscribing. I'm going to keep on top of the news about all things Warhammer Old World as much as possible. I've also got Tale of Many Gamers series, along with my reflections on troops, particularly in the Empire Army. So yes, thank you for listening. I am returned to the old world. Have a great day.